Welcome back. All right, we got 13 games on Saturday in the National Hockey League. Yep, 13, and it goes all day, starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, which is 9:30 a.m. my time, Pacific. The LA Kings in against the Boston Bruins. Boston won the first matchup in LA on October 21st by a score of 4-2. For LA, they're 25-16-10 over the last month. They're 4-4-2. Byfield, their leading scorer over that time. 8 games, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. Trevor Moore got off to a hot start, slower lately. 10 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points for him. On the Boston side, they're 32-12-10. They're 6-4-1 over the last calendar month. They've been having a hard time with this homestand. 1-3-1 on this homestand. There's 2 more games left in it. Pastrnak, their leading scorer over the last month with 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points in 11 games. DeBrusk, 10 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. For DeBrusk, he's around a point every other game, obviously. So, we'll see how things go with him. But, Boston's going to need some more scoring than what they've had lately. 3 Eastern, noon Pacific start between the Oilers and Dallas. This could be a high-scoring game, to be honest. The Oilers, known for scoring some goals. The Stars coming off a 9-goal game against Nashville. So, Dallas won the first matchup on November 2nd by a score of 4-3. The third and final meeting will be April the 3rd. The Oilers 31-18-1 overall. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. McDavid, 10 games played over the last month, 7 goals, 15 assists, 22 points. Corey Perry's played 6 games so far with the Oilers, a goal and an assist for 2 points for Corey Perry. On the Dallas side, they're 34-14-6 overall. Over the last month, they're 8-2-1. Duchesne, their leading scorer over that period in time, with 7 goals, 6 assists for 13 points in 11 games. Pavelski, just the 1 goal in 11 games over that time period, but he does have 6 assists, so he has 7 points over that time. Also at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, the Ottawa Senators and the Chicago Blackhawks. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again March the 28th. I know, I'm excited for this one too. So Ottawa's 22-26-2. To their credit, they've been 7-2-2 over the last month. Brady Tkachuk, their leading scorer over that time period in 11 games, 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 points. Josh Norris, not giving them the goals that they had hoped for in 10 games over the last month. 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. Chicago's 14-37-3. They're 1-8-1 over their last 10 games, which is over the past month. Kurashev in that time has been their leading scorer in 10 games, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. Yeah, it's been a rough time for them. Bedard had an assist in the 1 game he played after coming back, and I figured I'd put him on the board. Bedard scoring desperately needed by Chicago. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific start between the Detroit Red Wings and the Calgary Flames. This is the second of 2 meetings. They met in Detroit, a 6-2 victory for Detroit on October 22nd. The Wings are 27-20-6. They're 5-4-1 over the last month. They've lost games against Edmonton and against Vancouver. They need a bounce-back win against Calgary. Larkin, their leading scorer over the last month in 10 games, 6 goals, 3 assists for 9 points. Gostisbehere, no goals, 3 assists over that time period in 10 games as well. They need a power play goal for Gostisbehere. Calgary 25-24-5 overall. They're 4-6 over the last month. Huberdeau and Kadri, the leading scorers for this team, tied with 2 goals and 7 assists for 9 points in 10 games. Kuzmenko in 5 games since joining the Flames, 3 goals for him, no assists as of yet, but Kuzmenko parks himself in front of the net. Get him the puck, he'll probably deflect it in. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. We have 3 games starting then, so again, it's just all throughout the day. I'm not overly busy generally. Buffalo won the first matchup with the Minnesota Wild on November 10th by a score of 3-2. That was in Buffalo. Things are a little different now. Buffalo's 23-26-4 overall. They're 4-5 over the last month. Peterka in those 9 games is their leading scorer with 6 goals, 3 assists for 9 points. Zach Benson, just the 1 goal in 8 games over the last month. On the Minnesota side, they're 25-23-5, but they're 7-3 over the last month. Kaprizov, their leading scorer over that time period, in 10 games, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Marco Rossi, in 10 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. You probably want a couple more points from Rossi, but again, they've won 7 out of 10. They're going to need to keep that up if they're going to make a push for the playoffs. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific start between Nashville and St. Louis. On November 24th, Nashville wins this matchup 8-3. They're, of course, coming off that 9-2 loss against Dallas. The third and final meeting between these teams will be April the 4th. Nashville 27-25-2 overall. They're 3-6-1 over the last month. Yossi, their leading scorer over that time in 10 games, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. Yakov Trenin, rough season for him offensively, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in the 10 games he's played over the last month. For St. Louis, they're 29-22-2. They're 8-3 over their last 11 games. That's in the past month as well. And Robert Thomas, in 11 games, 3 goals, 13 assists, 16 points, has been playing very well. Kevin Hayes, rough time for him, just the 1 assist in 11 games. I get the feeling Philadelphia is glad they made the trades they did in the offseason. I do. The players that they've moved out have not had great seasons, and the players they brought in have done better. So Hayes, we'll see if he can get things going between now and the end of the regular season. Of course, for St. Louis, they haven't really needed him either with the 8 wins in 10 games over their last 10, 8-3 over the last month. 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific, the Battle of Florida. So Florida and Tampa Bay go at it. December 27th, Florida wins this matchup 3-2. The final meeting will be on March the 16th. For Florida, they're 35-15-4 overall. They're 8-2-1 over the last month. Tkachuk, their leading scorer in that time, 11 games, 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 points. Evan Rodriguez, 11 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. We'll see if he can get a goal or two. He might be due. On the Tampa Bay side, they're 30-20-5, and over the last month, they're 8-3. So there's a lot of teams with pretty good records over the last month. Kucherov's been fantastic in 11 games, 8 goals, 13 assists, 21 points. Stamkos in 11 games, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. Keeps trucking along. He does not have a contract extension. It doesn't seem to be bothering his game at all. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We only have 2 games starting at that time, but both feature Canadian teams. So the third and final meeting between Washington and Montreal. Montreal's won the first 2 matchups. On October 21st, it was a 3-2 overtime win. On February 6th, it was a 5-2 win for Montreal. For Washington, they're 23-21-8 overall. They're 2-6-2 over the last month. Ovechkin is their leading scorer over that time, though. In 10 games, he has 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points to lead him in scoring. Alexei Protas just has the 1 assist over those 10 games, so his new contract and all that. We'll see if he gets a goal or two to go with that new contract that he got, a couple weeks ago. Montreal's 22-24-8 overall. They're 4-6-1 over the last month. But again, they seem to gravitate back to 500. Maybe that's not going to be the case the rest of the way, but we'll see. Suzuki, 11 games played over the last month, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. For Tanner Pearson, he was all around it in their last game. He has 2 assists in 8 games over the last month, but he's due for a goal. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Anaheim and Toronto. As Ottawa found out, if you take Anaheim lightly, they can beat you. As Toronto learned also on January 3rd, took till overtime before they beat Anaheim 2-1 in Anaheim. Now this one in Toronto, of course. For the Ducks, they're 19-32-2 overall. Over the last month, they're 4-4-1. Troy Terry, their leading scorer over that time period, 9 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. Leo Carlsson, no goals, but 6 assists in 9 games over that time period. He's due for a goal, right? Toronto, 28-16-8 overall. They're 7-3 over the last month, so they're playing well enough. Matthews, 10 games over the last month, 11 goals, 5 assists for 16 points. Matthew Nyes, probably looking for a little more offense from Nyes. 10 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. We got 1 game starting then, and it's Philadelphia and New Jersey. So November 30th, New Jersey wins in overtime, 4-3. December 19th, it's Philadelphia winning in overtime, 3-2. The fourth and final meeting will be on April the 13th. Philadelphia's 29-19-7 overall. They're 5-5-1 over the last month. Keep in mind that they were better going into the All-Star break, or they were worse going into the All-Star break than they've been coming out of the All-Star break. So their record's been pretty good since then. Konechny leading them in scoring over the last month with 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points in 11 games. Drysdale, after a hot start, he's cooled off. Just the 2 goals in 11 games over the last month. He's a minus in the plus-minus category as well. The hope was he'd get the power play going. It looked like he would early. It has not been sustained. New Jersey, 27-22-4 overall. They're 5-6-1 over the last month. So again, New Jersey needs to get a streak going here. He's their leading scorer over the last month. 12 games, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. For Jack Hughes, he's played 5 of those games. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points for him. 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Just the 1 game starting then. It's Winnipeg and Vancouver. So again, it's a busy day for me on Saturday. It's hockey all day, but there will be little breaks here and there. So see what kind of videos I can put together for you. But this is the first meeting between Winnipeg and Vancouver. And historically, Winnipeg's done well against Vancouver. I think Vancouver did well last year against them, but either way, They meet again on March 9th and April 18th because this is the first of 3 meetings. Winnipeg is 32-14-5. They desperately need scoring. They are 3-4-1 over the last month. In those 8 games, Sandberg and Ehlers are tied for the lead in team points. 8 games, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points for each player. Kyle Connor, just 1 goal in 8 games over the last month. So Winnipeg really needs to get things going. Vancouver, very cheap when it comes to handing out scoring chances. They're 37-12-6. They're first overall. They're 8-1-2 in the last month. So can Winnipeg turn this around and score an upset victory? We'll see. Pettersson, the leading scorer for Vancouver the last month. 11 games, 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points. Feels like those 5 goals are more than Winnipeg scored in the last month. Bluger, 4 assists in 11 games. He's due for a goal, but those 4 assists, he still got more points than anybody in Winnipeg over the last month. So at any rate, we'll see how that one goes. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Columbus and against San Jose. That's right, I'm wearing Columbus for this. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again on March the 16th. Now, it might seem like I'm not really taking a risk by picking Columbus, but Columbus's record is much worse than San Jose's over the last month. Columbus is 16-26-10 overall. They're 2-5-1 over the last month. Gaudreau, their leading scorer over that time, 7 assists in 8 games. So no goals for Johnny Gaudreau, and he's still their leading scorer. Kent Johnson, just 2 assists in 8 games over that time period. So you really need Johnson to get better. On the San Jose side, they're 15-33-5 overall, but over the last month, 5-2-1. Yep. They keep games close. I think they catch teams napping. I think they did that against Calgary last time out. We'll see if they do it again. Eklund, their leading scorer over the last month, with a goal and 6 assists for 7 points in 8 games. Hoffman, just 3 assists in 8 games over the last month. I've talked about Hoffman as a cold player quite a bit this year. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, Carolina and Vegas. This might end up being the game of the day. So Carolina won this first matchup December 19th in Carolina 6-3. I guarantee you Vegas remembers that. The Canes, 31-17-5 overall. They're 7-3 over the last month. Natchez, 10 games, 7 goals, 4 assists, 11 points. Has been excellent over the last month. Kotkaniemi cannot buy a point. No points in 10 games. I know it's more games than that. He's gone without a point, too. It's become a storyline around Carolina. He's got to get that turned around. For Vegas, they're 31-16-6 overall. They're 6-2-1 over the last month. Marchessault, their leading scorer in those 9 games with 9 goals, 4 assists, 13 points. And William Karlsson in the 3 games he's played over the last month since returning from injury. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Vegas is playing very, very well. Carolina's playing very, very well too. So this should be a fun one. Let me know your picks in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you just browsed your way through, you happen upon this video, or because you feel like it. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.